Let's be honest. There are things you've wondered about women that you never dared say out loud. Questions that sit heavy in your chest when you're lying awake, replaying conversations, trying to understand who she really is. And maybe, deep down, you've felt this unease. What if the woman I'm falling for has lived a life she's not telling me about? Not because you want to judge her, but because trust matters, because transparency matters, because you want a relationship that won't break you. So tonight, I'm going to speak to you like a woman who isn't here to shame anyone, but to reveal what most won't tell you. You deserve to see the truth with open eyes. You deserve to stop guessing. Here's the first thing you must understand. A woman's past doesn't define her worth, but hidden patterns, they can define your future. Sometimes a woman has been through a lot of relationships, a lot of attraction, a lot of attention. And if she hasn't done the healing, if she hasn't processed the emotional consequences, those experiences can show up in your relationship disguised as mystery, independence, or even confidence. And you might miss the signs until it's too late. But pay attention. There are subtle clues that she's had many emotional and intimate experiences before you, not as a reason to judge her, but as a reason to prepare your heart. First, the way she talks about men. If she casually mentions names, stories, or crazy things that happened in the past, and each story features a different guy playing a starring role, that's a pattern. A woman who has lived through many connections often speaks about romance like it's routine, not sacred. Second, she knows how to make you feel wanted very quickly. The perfect words, the perfect timing, the perfect touches. It feels like a movie. But movies are rehearsed, right? Real love builds slowly. Familiarity with intimacy doesn't make her bad. It just means this might not be new territory for her. And you must ask, is she feeling me, or is she just good at this? Third, she distances herself from labels. She likes the vibe, the fun, the validation. But when commitment enters the room, she steps back. Why? Because she's lived through many highs and lows, and long-term still feels like a risk she doesn't want to take again. You see, none of these signs are about shame. They're about understanding. The more experiences someone has had, the more emotional walls they can carry. And if those walls are high enough, you may never be allowed inside, even if you give her everything. You're not here to compete with ghosts. You're here to build something real. Before you go any deeper with her, ask yourself, is she choosing me or choosing the feeling I give her? Because one is love and one is temporary. Let's go deeper, because now that you're starting to recognize the surface level clues, you need to understand the psychology behind them. A woman's history leaves fingerprints, not on her body, but on her behavior. And when a woman has lived through many romantic attachments, there's one thing that becomes harder for her to do: stay emotionally present. It's not because she's cold or because she doesn't want love. It's because she's learned that closeness can hurt and that vulnerability comes with a cost. So she builds her identity around independence, around not needing anyone, around being in control of every outcome. Here's a hidden sign. She treats intimacy like entertainment rather than connection. She might flirt effortlessly, escalate things fast, or make bold physical moves without hesitation. And while you're feeling fireworks, she may be feeling routine, because for her, that adrenaline isn't new, it's familiar. Next, watch how she treats attention. A woman who has been desired by many men can start seeing attraction as a currency. Admiration becomes expected, compliments become predictable. She may even get anxious when the attention slows down, because she's used to the world noticing her. That doesn't mean she's vain. It means attention has been emotionally rewarding for a long time. Another clue hides in how she views mistakes. When someone has been through many partners, they've also experienced many breakups. Sometimes that builds wisdom, but sometimes it builds detachment. She might say things like, if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. Casual, effortless, no fear of loss. Because she's walked away before, more than once, and she survived. You fear losing her. She fears staying somewhere that doesn't excite her. A woman with a long romantic history also becomes incredibly skilled at reading men. She can decode your intentions from a single expression. She can sense insecurity instantly. She knows what to say to inspire you, challenge you, hook you. And that's powerful. But you must ask yourself, is she using that power to build something with me, or to keep me chasing her? Here's another subtle sign. She avoids responsibility for conflicts. When someone has had many relationships, it's easier to believe that every breakup happened because he changed, he was toxic, or it just wasn't meant to be. If she cannot reflect on her role in past relationships, she won't fix it in yours, and you will be the next story. But let's pause. Don't let fear cloud your heart. Experience doesn't erase someone's capacity for love. A woman who has lived a lot can also love deeply, if she has done the emotional work. The real danger isn't her past, it's what she hasn't healed from. So here's the question every man must ask himself. Do I want to be another chapter, or do I want to be the last one? Because if she's ready, truly ready, you'll feel her choosing you with both her heart and her actions. If she's not, you'll feel yourself fighting for a place in her memories instead of her future. A woman's past doesn't make her undeserving of love, but patterns always leave traces. And if you're serious about protecting your heart, you need to notice the difference between a woman who has learned from her past and a woman who is still running from it. One powerful sign: she moves fast, emotionally or physically, but avoids forming deep roots. She can create intensity like lightning, bright, electrifying, unforgettable. But lightning doesn't stay. She knows how to say the right things, how to make you feel special, chosen, lucky. And yet, when you try to take that connection deeper, she changes the subject. She laughs it off. She says, let's just enjoy the moment, because the moment is where she feels safe, and the future is where her fear lives. Pay attention to her views on loyalty, not the speeches, the patterns. If she tells you proudly that she's always in demand, that men never stop messaging her, that her DMs are full, that's a clue. She's used to being wanted, admired, chased. And a woman who has lived in constant pursuit may struggle to appreciate a man who simply stays. Another sign: she's a master of detachment. She knows how to switch off her feelings like flipping a light. One day you're everything, and the next day you feel like nobody. Not because she doesn't care, but because she learned long ago that caring too much hurts. She protects herself by staying ready to let go. Listen to how she defines happiness. If excitement is her fuel, stability might feel boring. The honeymoon phase is where she shines. Intensity, thrill, newness. But when the real relationship begins, compromise, patience, consistency, she gets restless. She craves the surge, not always the security. There's something else, and it's subtle: boundaries. If she's extremely comfortable in intimate situations without requiring emotional connection first, it usually means she's navigated this path many times. Again, not about judging her. It's about knowing whether intimacy is her language of love or her habit of escape. But here's the twist no one tells men. A woman who has experienced many relationships isn't broken. She's layered. She has felt highs you may never understand. She has survived endings that would crush most people. Her heart has scars, yes, but scars prove wounds were healed, not ignored. A woman with a past can love with more intensity, more passion, more wisdom, if she trusts you. The real danger isn't the number of partners she's had. The real danger is unprocessed heartbreak. A high-experience woman who has done the inner work becomes unstoppable, loyal, romantic, devoted, but one who hasn't may drift through life always searching for new fireworks, never building a home. So ask yourself this: is her past something she learned from, or something she's still living in? Because that answer will tell you whether she's capable of writing a new chapter with you, or whether you're just stepping into someone else's repeat story. Let's look into something men rarely talk about out loud: emotional contrast. When a woman has lived through many romantic highs, she becomes familiar with those rushes, the butterflies, the adrenaline, the thrill of being desired. But here's the hidden challenge. Real love isn't made of constant sparks. It's made of comfort. It's made of peace. And peace can feel strangely uncomfortable to someone who is used to chaos. You might treat her with genuine kindness, respect, patience, and instead of appreciating you, she may feel bored. Not because you're boring, but because her nervous system has been trained to confuse intensity with love. Fast passion, quick attachments, dramatic stories, those have become her normal. And a relationship without instability can feel unfamiliar, almost unreal. Watch how she handles attention from other men. Does she entertain every compliment? Does she upload a picture and then wait for the notifications like a shot of validation? A woman who has lived in a world where admiration was always available may struggle when attention slows down. She might even chase that high unconsciously, through flirting, posting, or keeping backup attention sources around. Not because she wants new relationships, but because she wants to feel chosen again and again. Notice how she expresses boundaries. If she quickly dismisses the importance of privacy, if intimate moments seem casual or transactional to her, that often means those moments have been routine in her past. She might not view closeness as something sacred, only as something expected. And that difference shapes everything. Then there's storytelling. If every memory she shares about romance is wild, dramatic, unpredictable, that's not accidental. That means those were her standards, those were her experiences, and predictable love, the kind that lasts, may feel too calm, too slow, too safe. But before you think this is a warning, it's actually a guide. Because every woman with a complex past is also a woman with a complex heart. She has learned lessons that innocence never teaches. She has known what it feels like to be wanted intensely and what it feels like to be forgotten instantly. She understands the fragility of connection. That means if she chooses to truly invest in you, it's not naive love. It's earned love. It's a conscious decision. It's a commitment built from awareness, not fantasy. The real question isn't how many men she has dated. It's how she shows up for you now. Does she appreciate consistency? Does she protect your trust? Does she make you feel like you're the priority, not a placeholder? Because a woman who is ready for real love will show you through her actions, not through her past. If she's still craving the chaos, she'll create distance. If she's still addicted to attention, she'll keep options open. But if she's ready, you will feel peace with her that no thrill can replace. So remember this. Her history doesn't decide the future. Her healing does. And the only question that really matters is she ready to build something real? Or is she still chasing the rush of what never lasted? Let's be brutally honest for a moment. Men worry about a woman's past, not because they want to judge her, but because they want to know whether they're stepping into something real or walking into a story already damaged by too many rewrites. And the truth every man needs to hear is this. A woman who has been through many connections can sometimes become emotionally numb. It's not her fault. But if love has felt temporary again and again, if passion has faded more times than she can count, if trust has been broken repeatedly, her heart learns a dangerous lesson. Nothing lasts. You might try to show her genuine love, but she could respond with skepticism. She may assume there's a hidden angle. She may expect disappointment before you even have a chance to prove her wrong. Experience teaches survival, and survival doesn't leave much room for vulnerability. Here's a subtle sign to watch. She treats intimacy like negotiation. She might say things like, "What are you offering?" or "What do you bring to the table?" Relationships become transactions when someone has had too many breakdowns. Instead of love being a partnership, it becomes a scoreboard of who's winning. Another clue? Her circle. A woman who has had many emotional resets often struggles to keep long-term friendships, especially with other women. If every year she has a new set of friends, new environments, new people, That can mean she's constantly restarting, trying to escape old versions of herself that remind her of the chaos she lived through. Look at her values, not her words. If she says she wants commitment, but her lifestyle revolves around attention, nightlife, endless options, and the thrill of being seen, her actions are telling you the truth she can't say out loud. A woman who is ready to settle doesn't keep a life built around constant excitement. But don't mistake complexity for corruption. Some of the most loyal, loving, deeply committed women are the ones who have seen the world and decided that real love matters more than attention. They don't want to impress the room anymore. They just want one man they can trust. The key difference is healing. A healed woman will tell you exactly what broke her and exactly what she learned. An unhealed woman will pretend nothing ever affected her, while still acting like she's trying to outrun her own reflection. A healed woman chooses presence. An unhealed woman chooses escape. A healed woman will make you feel safe. An unhealed woman will make you feel replaceable. So what do? You pay attention. You trust your instincts. You stop ignoring the uneasy feeling in your chest that whispers, something here doesn't match. Because you deserve a love that doesn't have to compete with her past, and she deserves a love strong enough to hold her future if she's ready for it. So here's the truth. Her history doesn't disqualify her, but her accountability, or lack of it, will shape everything. The question isn't, has she been with many men? The question is, does she want to build something lasting, or just feel wanted again? Let's be honest one last time. The real fear men carry isn't about how many partners she has had. The real fear is this: will I matter? Will I be respected? Will I be valued? Or will I be just another page in a book that never stops being rewritten? Every man wants to feel like he's chosen, not just selected from a crowd. But here's the truth most men never realize. A woman's past doesn't define her value, but her behavior today will absolutely define your future with her. So look at how she shows up when love becomes real. If she's used to quick connections, love may feel slow and unfamiliar to her. That means she might test you, not to play games, but because she needs proof that this time she's safe. She might push you away emotionally just to see if you're still there when she looks back. If she's used to attention from many men, she might struggle at first to understand exclusivity, not because she wants them, but because validation has been her comfort. She'll have to learn that admiration from one man she respects is worth more than attention from 1,000 strangers. If she's used to leaving whenever things get hard, she will have to unlearn the habit of running. Love requires staying. Growth requires staying. Choosing requires staying. Look at her willingness to grow. Look at how she handles conflict. Look at whether she takes accountability or always shifts the blame outward. A woman who is ready for a healthy, meaningful relationship doesn't hide from the truth. She doesn't pretend the past didn't shape her. She acknowledges it and chooses better now. That's the sign of someone ready to love. Not perfection, not purity, but accountability and direction. If she wants peace more than attention, if she wants commitment more than excitement, if she wants one real connection instead of endless flirting, then her past doesn't matter because she is ready to build her future with you. And here's something every man must remember. Your worth is not measured by being the first. It's measured by being the one she trusts enough to be her last. So maybe the truth isn't something to fear. Maybe the truth is something to notice, to listen to evaluate clearly. Because love is not blind, love is aware. If she sees you, truly sees you, if she chooses you with consistency, if she protects the bond you're building, then the past becomes irrelevant, and the future becomes the only story that matters. So tell me this, and be honest with yourself. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with a friend who needs to hear this truth today.